So just want to let you know that. We do like to keep these very interactive, and the more you can ask some questions of the presenters we have here today, the better it's going to go for the presenters, the better they're going to be able to make sure they're answering and showing the things that you want to see. So please be vocal. Please feel free to jump in either in text, in the text window, or on the phone, and let us know what you want to see. First, I want to ask, is everybody able to see the screen that we have shared now?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. Glad to hear that.
And I see Jason Loomis is having some trouble seeing our screen, so let's just stop for a second there. He sees me, which I'm amazed he's still on the line here. That's very resilient of Jason. So he's having some trouble seeing us, but he's seeing my video. Let me stop sharing video for a second. Maybe
there he comes. He got you there.
Oh,
good.
Well, he sees me.
Oh,
okay.
He sees your video now, too.
Okay, he's all set. He's a smiley face usually is good.
There you go.
Okay.
Excellent. So I'm Mark Gordon. I'm Director of Architecture here at CloudStrategies, and very happy to be hosting this webinar today on Microsoft Intune. We're a Microsoft Cloud partner, and our primary offerings that we help people with are Office 365 and Intune. Very proud to be helping customers adopt both of those. Those are both offerings from Microsoft that are for the most part partner-led, where a Microsoft partner will help you deploy and get that set up, and potentially help you keep it running as well if you need that kind of help. And we are clearly one of those partners that loves to do that for Microsoft customers. So without any further ado, I'll let the two gentlemen that are going to be presenting today carry on. And we have Corbett Hoxland from Microsoft here today, and we also have Pat Keating. So Corbett, do you want to introduce yourself and turn it over to Pat?
Certainly. Thank you, Mark. Hi all, this is Corbett Hoxland from Microsoft New York. I'm part of the Windows Intune team for the North America sub. I look after all things technical and all things evangelism related to Windows Intune. So any questions, suggestions, feedbacks, I don't like, please fire away. Pat, up to you.
No, Corbett, thanks very much. I'm Pat Keating. I lead the New England territory for Microsoft Gold Partner CloudStrategies, and I'm just going to intro a little bit about us today and give you a bit of background on our expertise, capability, and a bit of an intro on Intune, and then I'll let Corbett move ahead with a demo and take us through. So we're really happy to have Corbett on the line today, sharing expertise straight from Microsoft as part of our webinar series. So special thanks to him and the kind intro from Mark as well, and of course to all of you for joining us today. I'll stop sharing video because I want everyone to have a little bit more space here to see what we're talking about. So here we go. So a little bit about the agenda today. First off, we're going to start a little bit about who we are at CloudStrategies, give you an overview briefly on cloud computing and its value proposition. Again, I'll give you a quick intro to Intune and discuss how we can get started and get you going with Intune. So a little bit about CloudStrategies. We were fortunate enough to receive the Microsoft New York Metro Partner of the Year for Cloud. That's where we're headquartered in New York metro area, Cedar Knolls, New Jersey. Also Microsoft Gold Partner, really one of the top partners in the space. Additionally, Tier 3 Cloud Champions, Cloud Accelerate Partner, and of course a Rackspace Platinum Partner. So you get the sense, in the cloud we're top of the heap. Founded by Microsoft employees, focused on the Office 365 Intune offerings, really saw the value in that space and that Microsoft was bringing to customers, and wanted to capture that opportunity along with customers. We've helped over 200 clients make the move to Microsoft Online Service, previous generation BPOS, and now Office 365. So we're one of the top 5 partners in the country, in North America, doing that work. So in terms of volume of clients. So we really have made a big impact in that space, and we run entirely on Office 365, Intune, and Rackspace cloud solutions. So we don't, in our server closet, we have cookies and some supplies. So we're all the cloud all the time. You know, there's so much in the marketplace right now, so much buzz and so much confusion, I think, about what is the cloud, what's the opportunity, and how on earth would I get started. You know, we've worked with customers. Cloud computing can easily, because of this, make them nervous. And I can start by saying it's in no way an all or nothing proposition. We can work with you to determine what makes sense on this evolution and journey. You know, hybrid is a natural approach, making the most of the opportunity to outsource appropriate software, infrastructure, and platforms while realizing the full value of existing investments. It's nothing new, safe, secure, and proven, often meeting industry certifications, and puts customers in good company. Many large organizations have already gone down this path, folks like Coca-Cola, Energizer, and a number of others. We really encourage customers to approach this with an inquisitive mind. We want you to ask questions, help you to mutually explore and see where you're comfortable. It's always okay to ask us questions. We're always here to be consultative and supportive as you go through this journey, and have natural questions about performance, security, and what makes sense and when. So those are some of the natural questions right there. Thanks, Mark. You're doing double duty for me, I think, which I appreciate. Thank you for that, advancing the slides for me. So our focus, you know, with everyone talking about the cloud and what it could mean to you, and all the buzzwords and claims that don't necessarily relate to your business, what we think customers need and want is a partner, and what they tell us they want is a partner who will help unravel the hype and create a specific plan based on business needs and opportunities. CloudStrategies facilitates cohesive, business-focused planning and adoption of proven cloud solutions. So we help you to develop a short and long-term plan to intelligently simplify your environment, reducing costs and improving business function. And what sets us apart is our ability to have that conversation about how to appropriately rationalize your IT assets across the best online and on-premise solutions available. With our breadth of expertise, we make that process simple. So, how do we work with you? We first identify the opportunity through business analysis and a roadmap. So we determine what makes sense when, and then develop a plan of action to execute and deliver value. And then a blueprint, a plan of action for specific migrations. And then we deliver the implementation, the migration to that next platform, that cloud-based platform, as well as offering training and support so that you make the most of the investments that you make. There are 5 characteristics of a cloud. You know, often you'll be talking, and I think many of the folks in this audience, I imagine your friends and family ask you, so what's the cloud? You're kind of like the IT leader, professional in their life. What is the cloud? What does it mean? And what we often do is put it in the context of these 5 characteristics. One, it's an on-demand service that you can serve yourself. So it's something that you can provision, like an Office 365, like an Intune, yourself. You can go online with a credit card and purchase that service, Salesforce.com, what have you. You can go on and purchase that service and procure it without the intervention of IT staff necessarily. Broad network access, it's available on your Windows phone, your PC, tablet, across a broad array of devices. As long as you have access to the internet, you have access to that infrastructure, that software, or that platform, as it were. Resource pooling, really there's Resource pooling, there's economy of scale that you gain in terms of reducing costs. So you can reduce costs pretty dramatically by reducing your in-house IT. Just going to take a quick pause for just a brief moment. And Mark, I think Corbett wanted your attention. Just having a bit of a challenge.
I'm helping him out.
You're helping him out. Good. Yeah. See, we are very helpful. It's being proven right now. And rapid elasticity is another. So one's ability to easily scale up or scale down resources. A great example. Kevin Turner of Microsoft was speaking. He's their CTO, I believe, and it was one of the executives speaking on eBay. eBay had their server capacity year-round for the holiday spike, so they had really provisioned physical hardware for much of their history, planning for peak performance and peak demand. And what they've done this year is they're moving to platform as a service for that elasticity. So they have 10 months out of the year where they have their existing infrastructure, and then platform as a service to scale out as demand needs it. And that's going to save them quite a significant amount of money as they move to Azure for that demand in peak season. It's a measured service, so you can think of it as a utility. You pay for what you use, and when the lights aren't on and when you're not using the service, or when you're not in need of that seat or that capacity, you don't pay for it. It's really that simple. And in these times, it's really a solution that's right for the economic times that we live in. So there are three primary models of consuming the cloud: software as a service, infrastructure as a service, and platform as a service. So software as a service, through network-based access, you can procure and consume a CRM application, as an example, Microsoft CRM, Salesforce.com, SharePoint Online, things of that nature are often what we think of as software as a service. But you could also think of those consumer applications that you use at home as well, Facebook and Hotmail. These are software as a service applications that you consume via the internet and procure easily in a self-service way. Infrastructure as a service, these are your servers, your racks, CPU, storage, data center facilities, and so on. Really, these are outsourced at another location, provided to you by a third party in almost all cases. And platform as a service, the tools that you need to develop on demand. Really, this is going to enable you to not have the need for the underlying infrastructure that supports an application, and you really can now move to just consuming those custom applications that you have or want in a as a service cloud-based fashion. And really the advantages include, of course, not having to procure that hardware in the first place and manage it, but also now you're able to consume those applications with high availability in a manner that enables you to lower your costs, so you can leverage those in an as-needed way, paying for those applications, those capabilities in a as an operational expense as opposed to a capital expense. That's a benefit of cloud computing that we often hear of. What are some of the deployment models? There's a public cloud in 99% of cases. That's what we're going to be talking about. Really, this is where you get those economies of scale. In the case of Office 365, the ability to consume Exchange, SharePoint, and link online, all of these kind of capabilities for just $10 a month per seat, that is a phenomenal value, and so compelling that many folks are, it's really disrupting the industry. So you get a great value for very low cost from those public cloud options. Private cloud, one still needs to procure the set of resources and capabilities on their own. So there isn't that benefit of the economies of scale, as it were, but very much there's a benefit in terms of making the move to operational versus capital expense. It's a little complicated and it's a little different, but on occasion that does make sense. Community cloud, sometimes it makes sense for folks to in an industry, or most often it's an industry or an organization, to have collaboration across companies, and that's done in what's called the community cloud. And of course, a hybrid is some combination of the other three. With Microsoft, really an advantage is that, unlike some providers, you get deployment choice. If you want to go to cloud services 100%, that's an easy-to-do option, and we can help you to make that transition. It just requires some thought and requires some understanding of what makes sense for your business as you look ahead. If you want to stay completely on-premise, Microsoft's happy to service that account as well and work with you to stay there if that's what would make sense for your business. But what's great is, and most often is going to be the case, is that combination, that hybrid approach where, in the case of Intune as an example, you can have branch offices leveraging Intune and monitored remotely from the home office, and still have everyone in their traditional Windows environment at the home office or at headquarters, if that's the way you would choose to do it. And similarly, you can have a variety of coexistence scenarios between on-premise and in the cloud, Exchange Online. Just two quick examples, but Microsoft gives you a lot more flexibility than other providers typically do, and I think that's a great way to make that transition to the cloud and start capturing that value. So I've alluded to some of these before, the benefits of the cloud. Of course, the reduction of costs of IT systems. Now you're not paying for hardware, you're paying for just the service, and doing so in that operational versus capital expense fashion. You can deploy solutions faster. You don't have to go through the time and planning involved in procuring hardware, procuring servers, and in some cases having staff to spin those up. You really can do much of this on demand and start experimenting and innovating with your business in new ways, and I think that's really an exciting aspect that helps you to reduce the risk of change, innovation, and leverage some of the capabilities you have on staff, and make the most of the opportunity to try new things. The removal of platform migration challenges is really simple and straightforward in most cases to make these migrations work to the cloud. And in the cases where it isn't, you can have a trusted advisor like a CloudStrategies to help you to navigate those bends in the road and get over whatever humps do exist. And of course, the increasing of productivity and collaboration. When you have folks leveraging a solution like Intune as an example, they're up and running much more quickly because they get support at home much more, from the headquarters, much more quickly than they would else, in a traditional alternative scenario. So it's, and then of course you can leverage a tool like SharePoint Online and collaborate across the country, leveraging the best of your talent, really enabling you to harness the best of social networks and that social experience, and as well as document collaboration to improve the performance of your team. So it's really an exciting new place. And of course, I think I've alluded to this, but the partnership for a successful solution, really to help you, even though it's easy to procure these solutions, even though it's easy to acquire these software infrastructure and platforms, very often, it's helpful to sit down and have a little think time, understand the business need, and do that alignment with what's going to make sense in your application portfolio, your infrastructure portfolio, and what's going to help you to differentiate as you want to, and really make that strategic, have your IT support your strategic initiatives. And that's where CloudStrategies really shines in helping you to align your IT with where you want to go with the business. So you can see, just a quick overview of some of the cloud options that Microsoft has. When Microsoft says it's all into the cloud, they really mean it. Now, it tends to conflict with maybe a little bit of what I said earlier, where there's deployment choice. But no doubt, the option to go all in and have yourself fully in the cloud as much as humanly possible, Microsoft is really leading folks down that path, and it's we're finding it's a great value as they make this shift. Our customers who are going with us to the cloud are finding that their costs are reduced upwards of 45%, and you can see the growing portfolio of options. So it's going to be a great value and a great shift for Microsoft customers. Specifically on Windows Intune, a little bit about Intune. It simplifies and helps businesses manage and secure PCs using Windows Cloud Services and Windows 7. Windows Intune includes both the cloud service for PC management and security and upgrade rights to Windows 7 Enterprise and future editions of Windows. With Windows Intune Cloud Service, IT staff can remotely perform a number of security and management tasks, including manage updates, endpoint protection to help safeguard PCs from malware and threats, and inventory management, so IT and end users can remain productive from virtually anywhere. All that's required is an internet connection. With Windows 7 Enterprise upgrade included in the subscription, customers can get the best Windows experience with Windows 7 Enterprise or standardize on the Windows version of their choice. So again, a lot of choice with Windows Intune, a lot of flexibility, and really helps you to maximize the productivity of your team, keeping them up and running better than ever. So with that, I'll turn it over to Corbett and say thanks to everyone again for joining us, and delighted to have Corbett continue with a bit of a demo for us if you're ready.
Sure thing. Good afternoon all. I'm just going to share my screen quickly, and here we go. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can, Corbett. There you are.
Fantastic. All right. So what I'd like to do, ladies and gents, as Pat and Mark said earlier, anything that you'd like to ask, anything that you'd like to say, fire away, please. Let's answer your questions versus let's just show you something. So what I'd like to do is I'd just like to kick off and give you an overview of Windows Intune. The screen that you are seeing right now in front of you is called our multiple account screen. So typically what we would do is within organizations, they would say, I've got 5 or 6 offices around the country, around the city, around the world.
Corbett, I think we might have lost your sharing there.
Oh no. Let me try again. Oh hell. Give me 2 seconds, gents. Ladies and gents, I believe. Yep, ladies and gents.
We have a plan B should that not work. I'm able to do mine. So better if you can do yours, but we do have a plan B we can implement very quickly.
Mark, unfortunately, I think we're going to have to kick into plan B. I'm terribly sorry.
Let's attempt plan B here real quick, and let's see how we go.
Please.
But Corbett, as Mark's spinning that up, and looks like Mark will be doing the demo from this point forward, folks. Corbett, I hope you'll jump in and provide additional commentary as we go through. I'm sure that would benefit the audience quite a bit. But I'll leave you and Mark to it.
Thank you.
So let's just take you from the beginning. I think Pat did a great job of describing what the service is. The service is really the progeny of System Center. I hate to say the progeny of SMS because not everybody had a great experience with SMS. It was actually a great product. It could do great things. It was also a double-edged sword and could cut you pretty easily too. But the System Center has grown beyond where SMS went, and Microsoft has built System Center into things like Small Business Server, as well as extended it to allow enterprises to manage their PCs not only while they're within the firewall but without, and kind of developed it to the point of maturity at which it was able to become a cloud service. So now PC management is available from Microsoft in the cloud. And the kind of PC management we'll show you is fairly robust. It is growing every day. The kinds of things you're able to do hardware and software inventory. You're able to manage your malware, antivirus on those machines. You're able to run licensing reports on those machines and see what's there and what's been run on those machines. Pretty detailed information you can gather, and you can give people the ability to do remote control on those machines. You can also do things like update the virus definitions remotely. You might be able to update the viruses remotely too, I don't know, but you can update the virus definitions remotely, and as well as reboot the machines remotely and that sort of thing. So there's some remote management that's built into the console as well. So that's just a little bit about what Intune is and where it fits in. Obviously, if you're a small business server customer today, you know small business server works up to 75 PCs. If you're bumping into that limit or looking at going beyond that limit, Intune's a great place to go. If you're also in a position where you want to manage people that are remote and outside of your firewall a lot of the time, this service works the same on your firewall, but behind your firewall as it does in front of your firewall. It works with any of your Windows clients that are out there today. I want to be very clear about exactly what the licensing is. The licensing is that you will own the rights to install Windows 7 upgrade. So the upgrade to the enterprise, so the enterprise version of Windows 7. That requires that you already have a Windows professional license for XP or Vista or Windows 7 today. So if you have to have the professional version of that, with that you can upgrade those versions to the enterprise version. The enterprise version gives you a lot of new functionality. We can talk a little bit about that. Some of the things that come with the enterprise version are things like hard drive encryption, and there's a whole set of features called the Microsoft Desktop Optimization Pack that allow you to remotely manage those machines, do virtualization of the applications in those machines. There's a whole lot with the optimization pack that comes with this. We're not going to focus on that today, although it's a huge piece of the offering. I think what we'd like to show you today is the Intune piece itself. So Intune is two things. It's a subscription to that enterprise version, the ability to step up to the enterprise version of Windows OS. It's also the management of the PCs that we're going to show you here today. Any questions on the enterprise step up before we move on? And Corbett, feel free to correct me if I got any of that wrong.
So far, you are dead on track.
Okay, good. Happy to hear it because there's a little confusion on that sometimes. Great. So we'll just move on, and you'll notice that if I come here and I actually open a browser, and I'm going to do this in Firefox just to prove that I can. I get a JavaScript here, but it doesn't seem to break anything. And I'm going to actually open, and I've logged on already today, so I have a cached credential here. But I've logged on. I'm the administrator of my Intune instance. Somebody's typing. Pat, do you mind muting who's ever typing there? Thanks. So,
no problem.
Thank you. So you know, we notice we have a sort of dashboard view here. And it says, gosh, we've had some malware here. If we open that up, we can see what malware was actually installed. So one of the things that's in Intune is Microsoft malware protection, and that's kind of in the forefront line. It's very, very well respected. If you look at the Gartner reports and the other analyst reports, it's always in that upper right-hand quadrant where you want to be. Very, very good malware and antivirus protection. And it looks like I've resolved something. Let's see who that is. Oh my goodness. So it looks like Protos, which is my son's computer. I put my son's computer on here because he has the most interesting events. He's 14. So my son's computer obviously has had some malware. He's got a couple of pieces of malware, but it looks like they were not able to run and were blocked and removed. So I'm really happy about that. So that's a little bit about the dashboard. I kind of see what the updates I have here. Let's start off and just kind of walk through the features and what it does by showing you the interface. First thing we're going to look at is the machines I have in my environment. I can assign those machines to different groups and have some machines that are in our corporate group. I have, I think, 3 computers that are there. I have my tablet PC, virtual PC, a couple of virtual PCs actually. And I have some home PCs that are also in this group as well. So if I want to go in and look at one of these machines, I can actually open up here. I can look at all of the updates. So, Windows SUS. This has some of a lot of the features of SUS in that it's able to manage the updates, all the Windows updates on your machines. It's also able to manage the non-Windows updates. So you can, if you need to do Adobe updates, you can do those through Intune as well. Any software package that you choose to update, you can update and you'll be able to see that those updates ran. You can manage what updates go in your environment. You can back them out. So I can also see all the malware on that machine. I can see any alerts on that machine. There aren't any right now. Also, I have hardware here, so I can go in and look and see what he has on, and see how much disk space he has left, how much memory he has in the machine. All of those things are here, and I have quite a bit of information about the machine. I can also go into a machine and see what software is installed, see if those are virtual applications. I can see if those are things that I've installed through Intune. I also have policy here. So this is a resultant set of policies. So I can set policies in a number of places. This will be the policy that actually is in force on that machine. So this is kind of interesting. I can actually control and manage the policy on my machines through Intune. This is where I go and look and see. I'll show you where you set those policies in a minute, but you see I can do things like set the firewall policies, the antivirus policies. So look here, and there's some of our firewall policies. We can set these kinds of things on the machine. So it's really nice to be able to manage the machine here and actually take actions and manage it directly from Intune. So that's a little bit about the computers and how you can manage them and how you can see them, how they show up in the individual computer view from Intune. So we'll look at updates. So these are all the updates I have in Intune. I automatically get all of the Microsoft updates, and I can approve those. There's some updates I need to approve. I haven't approved yet. It looks like I may need to approve those. I have one machine, obviously, that has Office 2007 in my environment. If I didn't have any Office 2007 in my environment, this wouldn't show up. This knows about what's in my environment and is only going to show me the updates that I actually need. So I could actually go and take these updates and approve them right now if I choose to. And I can approve them for any group of machines or for all the machines. So I'm going to decide that I want to install all of those. I could obviously install them to a subset of machines if I choose to. So I'm going to say OK. And now
Mark, do you mind if I jump in for just
Sure,
a second?
please do.
So every now and then we get a question where somebody would say, that's great, that's fantastic, but I don't only run Microsoft applications. How do I update my iTunes, my Adobe, my Photoshop, whatever the case may be? And do I need to use a separate tool or a separate utility to do that? What we've said is that because we're using the Windows Update...
By the way, Corbett, I'm showing the non-Microsoft update screen. I'm not sure.
Fantastic. Never mind.
We're going to get down there in a minute.
Thanks, Mark.
And I'll roll kind of quickly because I think we're going a little late. But so we have a whole lot of different kinds of updates, and I'm sorry you can't see, Corbett. A whole lot of different kinds of updates we can do here. And one of the kinds of updates we see is non-Microsoft updates. And you notice I've created an update. I went to Adobe's website and I downloaded an update for Photoshop, the August update for Photoshop, and I put that in my environment and uploaded it to Intune, created a package for it, and now I can approve that for any group of machines. It'll work just like any other update. It'll manage when it gets deployed, where it gets deployed. It'll do reporting on how it gets deployed. I'd be happy to walk you through this particular update, and I will show you how you create an update here in just a minute. Anything else on those updates for now, Corbett?
Good to go.
Okay, good. So we'll talk briefly about endpoint protection, and we'll talk more about this when we actually get to the policies, because the policies are where I'm going to be able to turn on and where I'm going to be able to manage how the clients work with endpoint protection. But you notice I can see all of the malware that's been in my environment over the last, I think I've got about 60 days worth here. You can set how long this goes for. I can actually, we'll get down to alerts in a little while. I have this set up so it actually alerts me when a new piece of malware that's never been seen before shows up in my environment. I get an email message, a lot like System Center. If any of you worked with System Center in the past, this is very similar to that in terms of how it works and how it allows me to manage things. I have alerts here. I don't have any. Let's see if I have any. I was not prepared to. I was not expected to show this environment, so I don't have any alerts that I've set up here to show things that I set up myself, but I can set alerts on things like the disk space getting very low. I can set alerts on basically anything I choose that gets reported here. I can set alerts and I can be notified when those events or those conditions exist on any of the PCs in my environment or any specific PCs in my environment. So I'm able to set those and see exactly how those show up. I would have created a few more events here if I'd known I was going to show this today, but we'll keep going. So right now we're off, just so you know, Corbett, we'll move down into the software section. And in the software section, we have a pretty interesting set of stuff to do. So I have the ability here to manage software in my environment. These are the packages that I have in my environment. So you notice I can upload software packages to deploy in my environment. If I want to deploy a homegrown application and manage the installation and maintenance of that application, I can do that here through Intune. I can upload and deploy the software here. Don't think we have enough time to go through all of those steps. I'd be happy if you have questions about how exactly this works to get with you one-on-one and show you the specifics of how that works. Just for now, understand that you can upload software like I uploaded that Adobe package. You can upload software and then use those uploaded packages to distribute to your machines. So another view we have here is this is all of the software that shows up in my environment. And it's quite a lot of software, actually. We have 209 software packages that have been identified. Microsoft maintains a cloud database of all the software packages it sees. And it's not just going by file name, it's actually looking at the file headers, and it's very good about detecting exactly what software is in your environment. Things like the Foxit Reader, the Audible Manager, Lego Digital Designer. I told you I have a 14-year-old in here. So you're able to actually see. I'm guessing that's my 14-year-old's screensaver as well. But the beautiful thing about this is it's able to go in and actually detect what software is on your machine. Some of these packages are pretty cagey about not wanting to be detected. Microsoft maintains that database in the cloud. If you allow it to, if you choose to, you can upload your information and allow it to use your information on your PC to add to that database so that everybody gets a little better. But that's how it works. It actually knows a whole lot of software packages and is able to detect and manage those on the desktop. So here's where I'm seeing all of the software in my environment. If I want to see where any of that particular software is, if I want to see who has Silverlight installed, or let's see who has Link 2010 installed, I can click on Link 2010 there, and I'll see those 7 machines. Then I can begin to manage those machines directly from there. So very, very easy for me to get back and manage those machines directly from any point in here. So the interface is very, very good. So here's a piece of managed software that I have. I've actually uploaded an application package that I can use to distribute to the machines. I can distribute this very similarly the way I distribute updates. When I get ready to deploy it, I can choose who's going to get it and how they're going to get it, and choose a deadline for that. I can edit this, and we'll be able to see the setup file and what's in there. When I go to upload this, I have a lot of choices about how it's going to execute. Not only how it's going to execute on the machine, where it's going to put its files, how it's going to get installed, but also what I'm going to use to detect if it got installed properly. Am I going to go look for some registry entries to know if that package is there? Am I going to go look for some files on the machine? How am I going to know that got properly installed? So all of that's taken care of here in Intune. So one of the problems of working in a company and managing IT is trying to manage your licensing agreements. And Intune is in a really powerful position because Intune has your software inventory. It's actually gathering what's installed in your environment and what's actually out there in the wild in your environment. So it's very easy for you to go and look at, you can upload an agreement. We're a partner organization, and I'm managing some home PCs here, so it's a little bit of an awkward demo, but let me describe how it works. You have the ability to upload your licensing agreements from Microsoft and from other vendors, a volume license or other software license. You upload it here. It's going to compare what you have licenses for versus what you have installed in your environment. It's private information. It's not sending that anywhere else. It's just going to give you a report so you can tell if you're over licensed, if you've installed all your licenses or not. You'll be able to know what you may need to get licenses for that's in your environment you were unaware of, or tell people to uninstall because you don't have licenses and you frankly don't want to have licenses for. So this is where you can manage all of that in your environment. So here we are with policies, and we'll look just a little bit about the policies, and I'll start by looking at one of these policies, a firewall policy. We talked about policies a little bit ahead of time. This is where you set a lot of things. It goes pretty deep into what you can set and how you can set up all of the policies on your firewall here. This is going to get deployed to your machines. I can cheat this and manage it, decide which machines, which groups are going to be managed by which policies. So there's quite a lot of control here. The AV policy, another piece that's very important. This is how my machine manages the updates. how it manages endpoint protection, and how it manages network bandwidth in that environment. So I have a lot of granular control here of exactly how that works. The Intune Center itself, I can put my support information in here. I can put support phone numbers. This is all stuff that's going to be shown. I didn't set this up, John. That looks like something John Allenbaugh would have put in, don't you think, Steve? Anyway, so
yes, absolutely.
And that's John's phone number. So I know who set this up.
That's his personality.
So, but this is where you will set information that's going to be on your client. If your client goes and asks for help, this is going to show up. Something I'm not prepared to show today, but I can show pretty easily with a little bit more notice, is actually I may be able to terminal serve into another machine here and make that work. Let's try that. I have another machine that is I believe that's Groucho. Let's see if Groucho's happy. Oh, Groucho looks happy today. Let's see if we can talk to Groucho. So I stopped sharing because I have no idea what's going to show up on Groucho's screen. I may be horribly embarrassed. Oh, good. I'm not. So I'm going to start sharing again. So let's bring this, and I will show you the Intune Center from a client perspective. So here is the Windows Intune Center. So now we're looking at a client. And can I make this a little bigger? I guess not. So I'm looking at a client through a remote desktop that's in another part of the building here. And that means it's in my kitchen, and I'm upstairs in my office. So I can check for updates. I can manage my endpoint protection here. I can actually also request easy assistance. So if I click that button, I'm going to get a notice back in my other, in my link console, and I actually have my notifications set up so it'll send me an email. I'll actually get an email that somebody wants assistance. Directly from that email, I can click on a link in that email. It'll bring up an Easy Assist console that's hosted by Microsoft. Both the machine that's being assisted as well as my support session will both come up there. I can't actually demo this, but we're not going to have time to go into it today. It's kind of crazy that you could demo a remote control session from within a sharing session, but it's possible to do, believe it or not. So this is a little bit about that Intune client, how it works on the desktop. On the desktop, this works. All I have to do to get a new client into my environment, I'll show you that. We'll go back and look here. Assume everybody's seeing what's here because nobody's complained about not being able to see. So we'll look here a little bit about how I set up clients and client software download. Very easy. I click on this client software download. It's going to give me not only the executable that I need to run in my environment, but it's also going to give me a bit of code that's going to associate my certificate, really, that's going to associate that client installation with my Intune subscription. You probably don't want to post this on the internet because anybody that executes that bit of code with that certificate is going to attach to your subscription. So you can manage that by emailing it to people, by putting on a file share. However, oh, look at this here. What's that? So it looks like I really did get my remote assistance request, and there it is. I won't click on that right now because we probably want to keep going, but that's how I would actually remotely assist that other desktop I have running down there. So this is where I download the client software, distribute that any way I like, SneakerNet, email, any other software distribution, logon scripts, whatever you like to download that. And once I execute that on the client, I manage and own that client from Intune from that point forward. Let's look at some of the reports real quickly because I think those reports can be really kind of interesting. So I can I can come in here and I can actually manage my reporting. I can report for any number of publishers on any number of, I can look at all my Adobe software in that personal group of PCs that I have, and I can say, okay, well, let's view that report here. So now we see a report, and I actually can see in that report all the computers that have all of that software from Adobe installed. I can also just do a summary view here that has the number of installations. That's pretty nice. If I can print that directly and make it look the way I want, or I can export that as a CSV and then open it up in Excel if I choose to. And I can see summary data or the whole thing. Won't go through that. Just it's pretty easy to believe me that you can get a really nice spreadsheet out of that and manage it, input it into other systems, or it's portable. Very easy to get out of here. So that's how that works. I think, where have I gone here? Here we go. So there's also hardware inventory reports, license installation reports. So if you need to manage your procurement and what you have in your environment, this is a great way of doing that, taking control and keeping control of that. Corbett, I'd love it if you kind of help us close here. Maybe we can open up to some questions, and you can cover a little bit about maybe the roadmap and futures for Intune. Sure
thing. Thank you, Mark. In short, Mark, fantastic demo. Loved it.
You didn't get to see it, so you're being kind.
From the descriptions you gave me, it sounded really good.
Okay, good. I'll let you carry on there.
Thank you. So what we're looking at from a roadmap point of view, because this is a cloud-based solution, we can pretty much spin it in any direction we want. Based on the feedback and requests that we get from the field. So right now, still not on the map is servers. So Intune is focused purely on Windows clients. If, however, we get enough demand and enough people saying we really, really need Windows Server, we can have a look at that. I can submit it up to our group that is actually writing Intune, and they can look at see if they can get it in a V3 or a V4, whatever the case may be. I do know that we are looking at revising the product every 6 months, give or take, so that we are going to get to parity with System Center a lot sooner than later. The idea is that System Center will be on-prem for now, and that sooner, within the next, I guess the next year or so, more and more people will be looking at Intune as their enterprise management solution. Ladies and gents, if nobody minds, I'd like to open up the floor to questions, suggestions, feedback, anything that you would like to see moving forward in the future. Promise that was not a rhetorical question. Pat, if there are no further questions.
Well, I just want to make sure that everyone knows, some folks may be on mute. So if you do have a question, and feel free to unmute yourself and make your question known. We'd be happy to answer. Or you can type it in. That's fine as well. So we'll just take another minute or two for questions if there are any. And if there aren't, we can close out pretty quickly. Well, thank you, Jason. That's very kind. Okay, wonderful feedback. Well, thank you. And we're open to criticism and other questions. But I think that's it. Okay, well then, fair enough. Thank you so much for the kind attention, everyone. Corbett and Mark, thanks for the great job on answering questions and giving the overview, as it were, with Intune. If you have additional questions that come to you, if you would like more information or perhaps a chance to start a trial or a proof of concept, please reach us at CloudStrategies, and we look forward to to being of service anytime. We'll reach out shortly with a follow-up email to everyone, and certainly happy to share the slides if that's of interest as well. Again, this is Pat Keating, thanking everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you at our next session. Thanks again.